My stepsister wore my wedding gown to her bachelorette party and told me that sisters share everything, so I added handcuffs to her accessories. My stepsister Jade had this obsession with everything I owned where she'd help herself to my belongings, then act confused when I got upset because we're family, and family shares everything right. It started when our parents got married 10 years ago and Jade moved into our house. She'd go into my room when I wasn't home and take whatever she wanted. My clothes, my jewelry, my makeup, even my prescription retainer. When I put a lock on my door, she cried to her mother that I was excluding her and making her feel unwelcome in her own home. Her mother made me remove the lock because it was creating division in our blended family. Jade would wear my clothes to school, and when people complimented her, she'd say, "Oh, this old thing, I've had it forever." She'd use my expensive skincare until it ran out, then act shocked when I asked her to replace it. She had no concept of boundaries, and her mother enabled it by saying, "Sharing is what sisters do." When I got engaged, Jade immediately asked to try on my ring because she wanted to see how it felt to wear something so beautiful. When I said no, she pouted for weeks, telling everyone I was selfish. She tried to convince my fiancé Luke that I had trust issues, and maybe he should reconsider marrying someone who couldn't even share with family. At every wedding planning appointment, Jade inserted herself, claiming she needed to be involved because she was the maid of honor, even though I'd never asked her to be. She told vendors she was co-planning the wedding and tried to change my choices. When I picked burgundy bridesmaid dresses, she called the shop and changed them to pink. The dress shopping was a nightmare. Jade insisted on trying on every dress I tried on. When I finally found my perfect dress, a vintage designer gown that cost $8,000, Jade immediately said she needed to try it on too. The consultant said no because it had already been fitted to me, but Jade threw such a fit that her mother pressured me to let her try it. She wore it for 20 minutes, taking photos and saying maybe she'd get one just like it. I kept my dress at Luke's apartment because I didn't trust her. I gave her mother strict instructions that it was off limits. 2 weeks before my wedding, Jade announced she was getting married too. She'd been secretly dating some guy named Brett for 3 months, and they decided to get married the month after my wedding. Her bachelorette party was planned for the weekend before my wedding. The night of Jade's bachelorette party, I was at home addressing last-minute invitation issues when my phone started blowing up. My cousin Frances had sent me photos from the party. I opened them and nearly threw my phone across the room. Jade was wearing my wedding dress at her bachelorette party, my $8,000 vintage designer wedding dress that was supposed to be locked in Luke's apartment. She was drinking in it, dancing in it, grinding on strangers in it. There were photos of her on a party bus surrounded by drunk women spilling drinks while wearing my dress. There were photos of her in a club with a dress hem dragging on the sticky floor. There were photos of red wine stains down the front. I called Luke frantically and he checked his apartment. The spare key was missing from under the mat and my dress was gone. I drove to downtown where Frances said they were bar hopping and found them at the third club. Jade was on the dance floor in my destroyed dress, which now had multiple stains, rips in the vintage lace, and what looked like vomit on the train. I pushed through the crowd and grabbed her arm. She smiled and slurred, "Oh hey sis, isn't this dress amazing?" I wore it for good luck since I'm getting married too now. I dragged her outside where her entire bachelorette group followed. I said, "You stole my wedding dress for your trashy bachelorette party. Look at it, it's destroyed." Jade laughed and said, "It's just a dress, stop being so dramatic. Besides, you should be honored I wanted to wear it." Her friends started defending her, saying it was sweet that she wanted to include me in her celebration. That's when Luke arrived with the police. He'd called them after confirming the break-in at his apartment. The officers asked Jade how she obtained the dress, and she said it was a family dress that we shared. I showed them the receipt with only my name, the photos from my fitting, and the texts where I explicitly told her mother the dress was off limits. They asked Jade again, and she admitted she took a spare key and borrowed it without asking, but insisted that's what sisters do. The officer said that's called breaking and entering plus grand theft given the dress value. They arrested Jade right there in front of her entire party. Her mother called me screaming that I'd ruined Jade's life over a piece of fabric, but I said Jade broke into an apartment and stole $8,000 worth of property, then destroyed it. The best part came when Jade's fiancé Brett found out what happened. Full story on channel, link below.